Alright, back at it again. It's been an entire month since I've made my last video. I did rewatch it just a little bit ago just to remember what I even talked about last time. So yeah, I think to start off this one, there's not really much change as far as money situation goes. Honestly, I think this one's going to be about like maladaptive daydreaming. So, kind of feeling like, as of lately for the past month, it's been very rough. And for the foreseeable future, whether it's the rest of the year or, I don't know, the rest of this month alone, it just, nothing's going to change much. If anything, things seem like they're going to be worse. So, yeah. So to begin with, I'm not even going to mention anything money really this week that's any good, because nothing's changed as far as my savings. I've spent a bit more money for myself, at least this time around, so I guess there's that. But let's begin, I guess, with work. So currently, I know I mentioned last time, I'm trying to remember the last video that I made. I know I mentioned that my current supervisor is out. They are still out. And today is Sunday. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. So Friday, when we come in, right, our group lead, whatever, tells us in secret, because no one's supposed to know, because she was told by the current supervisor that our supervisor will be out for an additional month, possibly 2 months now. Well, they're not coming back. I just know they're not coming back. I won't get too much in detail because I don't really know too much myself, but they were diagnosed with some sort of cancer, and I know they had to do some sort of treatment. As far as their age, I believe they are in their 60s. I think they're like 64 or 62, something like that. So, I mean, if it was me, I'd be leaving, you know? There's no way I would come back to work and just, like, if I'm given an amount of time that I'm going to live, No. So, I don't think they're coming back. As far as work, I know I meant, again, like last time, I know I mentioned, doggy dog world, and I have been ate, I'm not getting that position because currently, as far as our department goes, they are consolidating very heavily, and everything is very hush hush. At the same time, you're seeing very large changes. So there's a chain of command, and as far as how I am trying to remember it, so there is the president of the university, then there are vice presidents, and the vice president for us would be in, like, I'm just gonna say services for the campus, like planning and management services. That's what I'll just say. And then below them would be like the different services. So it can be like maintenance crews, it can be cleaning services, it can be like the auto fleet for the campus, it can be all kinds of services around campus. And our person that is there right before it reaches the vice president was suddenly and without notice let go, or sorry, they what is it, not like put in your notice, but they're retiring. Yeah, that's what they said in the email. They're retiring. That person, I believe, is in their 70s, and a while back, a couple months ago, whatever, yada yada, there was a meeting for all these services, and like we as the small fry employees were allowed to come for like an extra hour of overtime technically. And me being with a degree, listening to everything, oh my gosh, I'll just say this: they thought a budget like these people, I don't know how long they've been in their positions and stuff like that, but these people thought a budget, brand new concept, never heard of it before until now. Wild. Because the things I see on this campus, it's like you go in a closet, random closet somewhere around this campus, and there's like tons of supplies with like cobwebs and spider webs and all that stuff that's just waste. There's no use for it. Oh well, like this is something like my group lead told me. Oh well, that was supposed to be moved like 2 years ago, or disposed of 2 years ago by this group of people. It's still there. It's taking up space. It's a waste of money, and it's something that like partly either can be used somewhere else on campus because they are like they kind of try to recycle technically, but not really. It's just wild. There's all kinds of stuff that I see like that. So, but anyhow, that person, so top dog before the other top dogs, whatever. So she's kind of up there. This person is retired, right? Well, the vice president is now in control. They did not replace that person, and they are not replacing that person. That person has been gone for now 2 weeks. It takes a minute to put up applications and stuff like that, but they're not putting up that position because, as far as I'm aware, again, it's hush hush and stuff like that, but we keep on getting emails from that vice president, way more than I've ever gotten, and I don't know, it's just weird, the reading it and stuff like that. So like for example, one of the emails that we recently got had to do with like driving vehicles on campus, right? And it's like, I guess, it's one of those stupid like, okay, yeah, I'll do it, but technically I'm not because, I'm not being constantly supervised or watched or whatever type of things. And it's not like super stupid or whatever, but at the same time it is. Like for example, part of it is like I can't park in certain spaces even though like the parking services of campus doesn't tag people that does that. So like, and it's not like employees, it's like people parking in front of dumpsters, they don't tag them. So if a dump truck has to come and get the trash for the day, if there's a person parked there, they'll just leave, and then that trash, that dumpster or whatever, will have sat for a whole day extra, stuff like that. But I don't know, it's just like you get those techno jargon like business type emails and stuff like that from this dude, and I don't know, it's just really weird because it's a lot more than I've ever really seen. But maybe it's just because it's before campus is about to start again, and it's the summer, and nobody's on campus, so they're going to roll these policies in there for the new year and so on and so forth. So it's whatever. But the thing that's weird with this person taking over the other person's job is in the email announcing our like whatever person that just retired, it said that the current supervisors for all the shifts will have to directly report to the guy. And also it's a whole weird thing. But like, again, our supervisor's gone, we're not being told anything, and we're about to head into the season for actual students coming back, and it's just going to be weird communication stuff because I'm being told stuff like this is the way I'm going to see it anymore, because I've kind of given up on finding work and stuff like that. But if I'm given a task for today, that's all I'm doing for today. I'm not going above and beyond. And beyond that, be very honest, since it's just you and I here, I've kind of given up on my work. So if I'm given a task for today and it seems like super stupid, I'm probably not doing it, and I'm probably going to either hide in a closet somewhere or do something else that like is my daily thing technically, stuff like that. But yeah, that's like current work situation. As far as like beyond that, as far as me finding work, um, since the last video, I don't think I'm trying to remember everything I said in that video. I've applied to over, I want to say 10 positions from last month. And sure, I'm applying internally. Excuse me. I'm applying internally for the most part, but I've been denied constantly. Robot emails after robot emails. There's nothing coming my way. I have applied to, like, I would say the second largest employer where I live, which is the hospital. There's only one hospital in town. I've applied to 3 of the same position. It's just different hours. So one of them was like 8 to 5, another was like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and then another was like 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning. And out of those 3, I got denied from 2 of them immediately, like one day after I applied to those ones. And there's one up. It says it's under consideration. Do I see myself getting it? No. Honestly, I've kind of given up, like I said. Beyond that, as far as other positions, not gonna lie, I am currently doing an experiment. So, one of the internal jobs I can apply for currently is to work at the university's library. I don't really get it, the job listing, but you're like checking, it says coin operated machines. The only things I've seen in the library is like pop machines, but that's a whole other service. That's like the pop vending people or whatever. That's not even a campus thing. So I don't understand what that means, but the only other duties it says in the listing for the position is you're basically stocking up or restocking the bookshelves and stuff like that, and you're like cleaning the rest of the time, I guess, in a way. Here's the thing though, as far as the qualifications you have to have, right? And I'll get into why I think this is the stupidest thing ever, and why I'm trying to see if I can even get a position this way. But the qualifications, you have to have a degree. What kind of degree? You gotta have a bachelor's degree. You gotta have 4 years of post high school education. So a bachelor's degree, and it says bachelor's degree. It doesn't specify what kind, just a bachelor's degree. It doesn't say any kind of experience at all. It just says bachelor's degree, and that's what they prefer. As far as like the minimum qualifications, they want you to have an associate's degree, so they want you to have 2 years of post-secondary education. So, okay, I have both technically. I don't really have an associate's. I have a bunch of certifications though. Trying to look. Yeah, it just says technical certificate. So, because I like switched my program a couple times when doing my associates or whatever, and then I chose to do bachelor's. But anyhow, I have a bachelor's, right? This position, starting pay, $13.80 an hour. Oh yeah. Now it didn't say what hours it is. It is full time, I would imagine, because the library is open, I think it's like 8 or 9 in the morning to like 1 in the morning. So I don't know what kind of hours it is, but whatever. This is an experiment. The maximum amount of pay, depending on I wouldn't say qualifications, I would say experience, is $14.85, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's like $14 some change. It's not really much, right? I am making, and I don't want to get into what I do per se, but the position I am currently working only requires you to have a GED, if that, and it's paying me $18.64 an hour. So I'd be losing $5 if I ever accepted it. Which am I going to? No. I'm just seeing if I get denied or approved. If I get approved, at least I know there's a chance that I can get a job internally somehow. But if I don't get it, I really am taking this as a sign that, like, the university, as far as hiring individuals, is not looking good. Because if they're consolidating from way up high, they are not replacing us. Like one of my coworkers, they left going on 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago, more or less. I'm gonna say like 2 weeks. I'll just say 2 weeks. So they've been gone for a little bit of time. Sure, I know they have to like recreate the paperwork and yada yada, and then they can put the job up or whatever. Last time a coworker left, which was way back in like October, it took them until January to put the position up. Do I see them doing that right now with this other coworker that just left? No. As much as I hate to say it, because as far as my group leader talks to me and stuff like that, which I don't know, it's weird. Why? I don't know. They would want to do this. I think it's because there's a bit of drama going on. I'm not going to get into that. But they mentioned that all they need really are 3 positions. One of them is my current position, another is her current position, and then the third would be this other coworker we have. Because he works like weekends, and then I work through the main week, so Monday to Friday, and then the group leader works, or their days off is like Sunday and Monday. So, you know, I don't get why, because there's tons of stuff that's going to happen on campus, and if that happens where they just don't, and there's just we 3, I know Mondays I'm gonna be screwed. I know, because the other coworker is off like not Thursdays, Fridays. They're off Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I'd be screwed Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, because the group leader on Tuesdays and Wednesdays is going to be doing rounds around campus, as far as like checking other people that is on our shift but doesn't work directly with us, because they have to like do work orders, all that jazz. So I'm going to be screwed for 3 days out of my 5 days in the week, kind of busting it to just make time fly, I guess. You know, it's just gonna suck, because I'm gonna be hauling it and doing the majority work, I feel like. So whatever. I mean, I work hourly, I don't make salary, so like I said, I'm just giving up on everything. So as far as good news with work, which is just weird, because I will say little bit of weird stuff that's happened. So I've been in this position almost for 2 years now, almost. Like, it's going on a month and 5 months, or a year and 5 months. Like, within my first 3 or 4 months, there was a weird thing that came on about an investigation, because $10 million, sorry, didn't go missing. The campus went over budget by $10 million. And they gave us a raise. I don't know why. It's only 50 cents, so at least it's kind of good, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, weird that they did that, because again, like I said, budgets, like they act like that's a new concept, and this is the university that I graduated from, and they're acting like budgets are a new concept. Wild. I don't know. They obviously have to know. They just act like it's a brand new concept, I guess. I don't even know. So, yeah, besides work and stuff like that, I kind of dooming a lot. I've been getting constant videos recommended to me from specific channels for dooming and stuff like that, and just like, what is the point type stuff. Yeah. So like for the past month, I've went from like, the idea of me saving money would have been to put some sort of down payment on a home, possibly own it at some point, and or if I could buy it outright, but like $20,000 isn't going to be much. To it went from like wanting to own a house to like, okay, I can buy a really rundown house that's down to the studs, and like, sure, I can learn these things on my own. Maybe I need to hire a plumber and an electrician to do that part, but like I should be able to do the like flooring and siding and like interior walls and cabinetry and all that stuff. To like, I get responses from individuals, and it's like, obviously it's a money sink to I'm not getting out of here where I'm currently living. As far as an idea of an apartment, not gonna lie, I just do not understand why you would want an apartment. Why would you want to constantly rent for the rest of your life, to never not really own it, but to know that like they can increase it at any time? I mean, sure, you gotta have a lease agreement, and then they can't for like a year, but the only point in having an apartment, in my opinion, is if they include utilities in it and like some sort of amenities. So like no lawn care you have to take care of, some sort of swimming pool or park or something like that. But I just don't see a point in doing anything with an apartment. So it's like, what is there left? Honestly, this idea has been floating around for a minute, where it's like, and I've been like looking on Marketplace a lot for campers and looking at campgrounds in my local area and stuff like that, and it's like $1,000 a month, but it should include all your utilities for the most part. And obviously a campground is probably going to have like a pool and like this and that and the other, and they're year round. So like, $1,000 times 12 months is $12,000 a year to live in a camper. But then I get to thinking like, why just why? I'd be putting myself way too much into it, because again, I'd be paying out of pocket still for land I'm never gonna own. I mean, sure, I can own the camper because I can pay $5,000 or $6,000 for a crappy camper that literally is just a bed and maybe enough room for a chair and like a TV or something. But I don't know. That is the stupidest thing ever, I think. Besides that, I'm I'm really just getting some maladaptive daydreaming in there, but I've been thinking about going homeless. So what that would look like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in this state right now against homeless people, and I know I'm laughing, but it's so just sad. So like I don't know if I'm gonna put myself out there too much about where I'm at, but our state passed a law that it's technically illegal to camp on public land, which translates to you can't be homeless or be seen homeless, because it's illegal now to do that. And I swear to you, you can be on the poor side of town or you can be on the rich side of town, and there will be a homeless person or someone holding a sign being like anything helps, that type stuff, on nearly every square mile in town, you know, on the curb, you know. Yeah. But, you know, getting into that a little bit, there's this one guy I've been watching a few YouTube videos before, and I kind of rewatched them and stuff like that, but, like, he made these, like, homeless shelters with, like, old, what do you want to say, like, these old signs and stuff like that they use, like, during election seasons and stuff like that, because they're, like, poster board, and they're not really insulated, but, like, it's enough to keep, like, rain out and stuff like that, and it's like a weird plastic material, stuff like that. So I've been watching that, and then I was thinking for myself, like, get one of those tarps that, like, is camouflage, put that over it, and then, like, find a wooded area. There's a few wooded areas around here, and some of them I know that homeless people have made camps out of, but, like, kind of live out of that. Now, sure, obviously, just get a tent, but it kind of sucks for a tent because, like, as far as your floor, it's just a tarp on straight ground. So if you put it on top of rocks, you're gonna be sleeping on rocks, and you're gonna have like tons of blankets, that type stuff. But like this material this dude made, like he made like a wooden frame for it, and like it was on this sort of cart where you could haul it with a bicycle. So I thought that was pretty neat. Again, homeless people, are they really gonna do that? Probably not. But if I ever had to go homeless, that'd be kind of cool, knowing that I have what money I have. I should be able to find stuff for pretty cheap to live homeless for the most part. But, you know, what sucks about being homeless is everything. So, oh my gosh. I don't know. It's sad to think of, but, like, do I see myself going homeless? No. No. I'm living with parents and stuff like that. Do I see them, like, kicking me out? No. Because, I mean, I'm paying for a bit of stuff, and are they just going to kick me out because, you know, whatever? No. Because not only do I pay for a bit of stuff, but everything is just terrible, you know? I I mean, I guess I could find an apartment, but why? You know, again, the whole question of why. Why would I do that? Like, I can understand if, like, don't get me wrong. I understand, like, after you own your property, you gotta pay property taxes, but, like, I don't know how much property taxes are on average, on a national average, but, like, for our area, as far as, like, I've looked and stuff like that, you're paying between, like, $1,000 to, like, $5,000 a year. I would like I the way that was explained to me by someone that actually owns a house, like technically you gotta pay that twice because there's like a spring and then there's like a fall assessment, something like that. But even then, like $10,000 does not seem like a bad idea. Our current rent right now for where we're at is almost $1,200. So 12 times 12 is $24,000, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's 1 in the morning. 2 times 12 is 24. So 12 plus 12,000 plus 2,400 is 4. Oh my gosh, $14,400. $14,400 is a little bit more than $10,000. And honestly, not gonna lie, but these like $5,000 to $10,000 property tax homes are like, not gonna lie, mansions. Like there are literal mansions, and they're like over by the campus area. There's like a whole community back there or whatever. Like, that's wild. We are paying more to rent. We're never gonna own. Whereas, like, if we own a home, we just would have to pay like that. Now, sure, do I know the exact number? No. But am I gonna live in a mansion? No. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. So, I mean, I've been seeing some like news stuff, articles or whatever, where it says like where we're located is technically so cheap that you could live off of just your social security check. Yeah, no duh, because literally there is no opportunity where I live besides if you work on campus, and even then, if you want an actual real job, you gotta have, let alone like a master's degree and like 20 years experience of something to get some sort of adequate job that actually pays you well to where you can live in some sort of mansion, you know? Because like, oh my gosh, everybody that I know of, like old people or the ghetto or like even some of the people on the north side of town where I'm at, which is like kind of the most richest area, everybody literally lives on a social security check. I like, oh man, like I'm trying to remember the article, but it was trying to make it seem very positive. Like it's very cheap to live here, and then you have all these stores you can go to, and like everything's here that you ever need to live. And it's like, yeah, oh my gosh, I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed by it, but there's no opportunity here. Everybody's living off of a social security check or some sort of disability check because there's nothing here for you to get extra money. Like there's a recycling place, right? And I'll be very honest. So I've been like recycling cans, like aluminum pop cans and stuff like that for the past year, and I took them over to the place because I haven't been in a minute, and I got them weighed, and it took me a whole year for this, and I got $30. And you know what I did with that $30? I pretty much got gas money with that for the car. Like that's the best way for me to make money. Besides, working where I'm at. So I just I don't know, man. I again maybe it's the maladaptive daydreaming, but I want to move, and there's a specific town that I want to move, but then you look at it and it's like it's a little bit better because there's a lot more work, I guess. But since I'd be starting over, I'm going to be doing exactly what I'm doing now. And with the job market, I'm not going to get like anything good anytime soon. And even if I move to that area for the same amount of pay that I'm getting right now, which I haven't looked at them and they're about the same, I wouldn't be able to live up there because I would need 3 times that amount of money to be able to even afford an apartment. Like there are income-based apartments and stuff like that, but guess what that means? That's the ghetto. I'm living in the ghetto right now. I don't want to live in the ghetto. So, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I'm again maladaptive daydreaming or just dooming very hard. I don't know, man. I'm trying to look at the positives though, somewhat. I guess to somewhat look at the positives. If I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I did spend quite a bit of money. Uh, so I managed to not spend money for like a week. So I had like $500 on hand, and I bought an entire army for a miniatures game. I don't know if you saw the short, but it's Warhammer. But I bought someone's army for like $500. A lot of money, right? Well, it's a 2,000 point army, and that means instead of spending like close to $2,000, I mean, well, technically, when I looked at the prices of everything, if it was brand new and everything else, it would have been like $1,086, something like that. So, I mean, I walked away with $500 or $1,000 worth of models for $500. So, cool. So, there's a league going on at the game store that I live next to, kind of. I want to say I'm like 2 miles away. Excuse me. So it's relatively walking distance. I mean, it's like not even a 5-minute drive from here. But like they have a league going on, so I kind of joined it. Now I'm not playing the full 2,000 point game or anything like that, because that would be overwhelming. I'm still trying to learn, but at least I'm trying to get out there and do stuff, you know. I'll have to make another short, actually, because I know I did that short a while ago. But I've painted a few things since. Maybe I'll kind of do more of those. I just figured I'd do that one because, you know, these type of videos are more for ranting and raving. So who knows? I'd like to make some videos like that or whatever, but to be very honest, where my phone's sitting and stuff like that, I'm like sitting on the ground. I am, and I don't really have a desk per se. I use like this tray table in my living room and stuff when I paint. But I would like to do some videos like that maybe in the future. So who knows? But thinking about the past month and stuff, that's really all the positive stuff I have. Just I bought some stuff and I'm painting it and I'm playing a game at this league. You know, that's really about it. You know, as far as the positives, I haven't. Well, I mean, I spent that amount of money, so nothing's really changed in my accounts or anything like that. I haven't really saved any extra money or anything like that, so I'm still sitting at where I am. But besides that, yeah, man, everything just sucks. And there's like more stuff that, you know, I think of daily. Not to get too much into work, but like, I wouldn't say I'm constantly on my phone, but I get these like weekly things that show you like how long you've been on your phone for like daily usage and weekly usage and stuff like that. And if I remember right, last month my average was like 9 hours a day, and I was on my phone for like a total of like 24 or 25 hours. And for the past like week, 2, almost 3 weeks now, it says that I've been on my phone on average for like 12 hours a day, or like 44, like I think the highest number was like 44 hours and 36 minutes within a week. So yeah. And as far as like the breakdown of it, I think the majority of it was YouTube, and then it was Reddit, and that's a whole thing again. And then after that, you know, like Facebook, you know, do a marketplace and stuff like that. And that's really about it. You know, just those three are the big ones that I've kind of been on. There have been like like a couple hours on like Discord, but that's like because doing the league stuff. But that's really it. So yeah. And as far as Reddit, I've tried just deleting it, but it's just, I don't know, just Michael Corleone pulls you right back in, you know. Because there's always something you doom and you get really sad, but then you turn around and you get real happy looking at these male living spaces. And what else was it, like part of the Warhammer stuff. I like seeing other people's paint jobs and stuff, and I like posting my own stuff sometimes. I don't know, man. And it's just, as far as pulling me back in, it's just like every once in a while, like I want to post something, and it's just like, for the most part, I don't really care what I get out of it as long as it's positive, but I just feel like I'm wanting attention. So, I mean, I think that's the reason why it's kind of getting hard to delete Reddit, because I'll post something every once in a while, or I'll comment on something and someone actually replies, and I'm like super surprised about it. And I don't know if I should admit that, but I don't know. I just feel like looking at it, it gets very sad. So, again, hopefully that league doing Warhammer and stuff like that kind of breaks the habit, and I'm getting to talking to more people. So that's kind of the main reason why I did that. And then like there's a few other game stores around us, and like one of them has like these monthly paint competitions, so I kind of do those too. So some stuff here and there. So, but as far as that goes, man, yeah, that's really about it. I'm looking at it. It's 40 minutes right now. Um, I mean, I'm not going to review what I said because I don't even think I remember half the things I said, but I know it's been a month since I've made my last video, and I figured I'd make something. I don't even know what I'm going to do as far as these videos go, but I kind of want to somewhat continue making them because I don't know. At least I get to vent a little bit. So who knows? That's really everything. So for the most part, everything's looking bad, and you just got to sit back and watch. So yeah, that's really about it, I guess. Yep.